Hi, Facebook. Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing? Hi, replay viewers. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm hoping that I'm on my page. Great stuff. So I'm going to share this live real quickly to some of my pages as I'm jumping out of here to go and get my hair done. Thank you, Jacqueline. I wanted to jump on here this morning because I just had an experience that I had to call Audrea, and Sonia's on radio. So, so hi Jackie, I'm giggling too, baby. So I couldn't call. Hi Suzanne, hi Shelly, hi Suzanne Lawrence, how you doing? I had to call Audrea just now. Hi Barjol, because I had an experience that just really did something to me this morning. So thank you for joining. For all your replay viewers, thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of us who don't know me, my name is Dr. Ava Eagle Brown, and I'm a life book and business strategist. I'm also the founder of Sister Hold My Hand, and I'm sharing this because I just had an experience that was overwhelming, to say the least. I just had an experience that was, it kind of floored me. It was interesting, to say the least. And it has left me, I cried because I find myself very emotional lately. I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm very emotional at the moment. And I'm just trying to maintain that space. I'm reading over The War of Art. So I'm going to finish this today. I'm on this again, reading this. But I, for those of us who know me very well, you know that I was brought up in a very dysfunctional family. I was brought up very displaced as a teenager. And my life has been one of a lot of jives and push and pull and tug. And I still have some of those challenges today in a different form. For those who know me close enough, you know that I am somebody who always has young girls in my home. My house is like, hi Sadika, hi Willio. My house is like, I call my house Hotel Ava. And the reason I call it Hotel Ava is because I always have young girls in my home. My daughter always brings home stray, I call them stray puppies. Like there's always somebody straying, whether their mother has put them out or they had a quarrel with their family, or there's always something. We always have girls in my house. My daughter always picks up stray girls on the road, or friendship group, not on the road, but her friendship groups has had some disaffected young girls who are not as lucky as she is. And the last couple of weeks, we've had one such situation where one girl, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So I've had one parent who has moved out of her home and abandoned her two adult children. Now, I understand to a point in the UK, the concept that when a girl or when children reach a particular age, they're adults, although for me, it's still, it's a bit different. And so she's moved, the mother has packed up and she's moved. Her 20-year-old daughter, who has a heart condition, doesn't know where the mom is. Her 22-year-old son doesn't know where her mom is, his mom is. And the mom has just packed up and brought her younger child and she's moved. So these two young people have found themselves homeless. The council has not helped them because they are not priority. And so I have taken this young girl in before more than once. We've had to put her up among many other young girls that we've had to put up. And Audrea is on here, so Audrea knows that this is factual. And there are various times when I had to sleep on the floor in my house, on the sofa in my house, because my house is packed with young people who have nowhere to go. So at the moment, we have a crisis where this young girl we placed her with somebody. It hasn't worked out because we just couldn't take her at the time. And last night, my daughter rang me from university and said, Mommy, we're going to have to take this person in. She has nowhere to sleep tonight. She's a friend of my daughter's. So she came in and she slept. And this morning, I woke up and I said to her, I need to talk to you, baby, because this can't continue. We need to fix this. What's going on? And she started to explain to me what was going on. Now, this is a young lady who my daughter and her haven't had the best of relationships. So in my heart, I'm protecting my daughter first. I don't care because one, my daughter's got her mental challenges. So for me, I'm protecting her first. That is my first port of call as a mother. Then she sat down and began to tell me what transpired. And I can't go into the details of that, of where she was staying, what has gone down. All I know that she ended up in a verbally abusive situation. Now, this young girl has a heart condition, and she is as thin as a fig. She's this tiny. She was size 14. She's about size 0. She is skeletal because when her stressful situation comes up, she cannot eat. And this morning, I physically had to sit down this 20-year-old girl and fed porridge to her because she is deteriorating so rapidly. I had to feed her. Now, here's where my problem is. Because she, in my opinion, is not good for my daughter, and that's the truth, I said to my daughter, you're going to have to put her out today. We can't keep her. We just can't keep her. And my poor daughter looked at me and said, Mommy, okay, I get it. And then something happened to me this morning that I have to close my eyes and speak about because I do not want to cry. So I was talking to the young girl and she was telling me what happened. And for those of us who know my story, you know that I was that young girl. I was that young girl who at 15 years old was lost. I had nowhere to stay. And I was moving from house to house, from family to family, sleeping at my school, trying to survive. And in that split moment, something happened this morning that I had to share with you guys. And I don't know if it's ever happened to anybody, but I couldn't keep it to myself. So I was standing in my kitchen. I just fed this young girl. And I said to her, well, you have to find somewhere to go today and tonight. And I was stopped in my tracks. And in front of me, I saw my 15-year-old self for the first time since I was 15. I physically saw myself at 15. So me, 42-year-old, standing up looking at my 15-year-old self. And I saw a little girl who was broken and sad and afraid and desolate and vulnerable. And in that moment, I couldn't put her out. Because she is what I used to be. And so I had to ask myself, how am I going to put her out? Where is she going to go? I'm sorry. And I can't put her out. Where's she going to go? Because that was me. That was me at 15. Looking for somewhere to be. That was me at 15-year-old having nobody to take me in. And when you're confronted with, because sometimes in the bid to save ourselves, and so I was thinking of protecting my daughter first, like, she's not good for my daughter. I don't want her on my daughter. They've had too much back and forth, and they've really had a very not so good relationship. And I had to put that to the back today because I physically saw myself. I went back into time, and standing in front of me was my 15-year-old self. Vulnerable like this young girl. Really, really vulnerable. And I'm in my kitchen and there were three of us. There was me, my 15-year-old self, and this 20-year-old girl who slept in my house last night and has no way to sleep tonight. And I'm here saying, I want you out of my house because you're not good for my daughter. And my 15-year-old self is telling me, Ava, but how can you do that? How can you actually do that? How dare you, Ava? How dare you? Did you hear yourself? And that is the conversation I was having. Ava, did you just hear yourself? You are putting out a vulnerable girl who was you. This was you, 15 years of age, standing there looking somewhere to be. So how can you now, in your pamper self, because you think that you're there, you think that she's not good for your daughter, how can you put her out? And ladies, let me say something to you, and men, let me say something to you. Sometimes we have to be reconfronted with our past to understand the decisions we make for the future. Because I didn't remember my 15-year-old self. All I can see was my 20-year-old daughter, who I need to get this girl away from. This girl's in my house. She's sleeping on my sofa. She's sleeping in my house. She's eating my food. She's bathing in my shower. Hello, your own mother abandoned you. So why should I care? And that was my thought process. And I'm going to be honest with you. I had to stop myself, because how could I? How dare you, hypocrite? Ava, how could you? How could you want to throw this girl out of your house because you're thinking of the bills, because you're thinking of the fact that, Ava, how could you? And sometimes we have to be able to critically analyze our behaviors, our actions, our patterns, ourselves. And this morning I was confronted with that. And it wasn't a nice feeling. It was hard. It was so freaking hard. And I was ready to put her out of my house today. Because, and my 15-year-old self showed up. And she said, Ava, you're cruel. Ava, how can you do this? This is sometimes in life, we lose that humanitarian side of us. We forget where we're coming from. We cannot see other people in the space that we used to be in. And because of that, sometimes we need a reminder. And so the young lady is staying in my house. I've offered her, we have a bed in the conservatory. And I said to her, it's summer. There's a bed. You can stay, but there are rules. There are rules in my house. We have rules here. There are Jamaican, this is a Jamaican house, Jamaican rules. Like, seriously, no joke. My daughter is 20 years old and she cannot be out without a curfew. I don't play those games. So I just had to share that with you because it was bothering me. It's really been bothering me. It's done something to me today, and I feel tired just thinking about the whole process. And it took me back to 15 years old when I was stuck and vulnerable like this girl. So my question to you is, and we're having the discussion in Sister Hold My Hand, as a mother, how do you put your children out? I don't care. Like, how do you just get up and move and not tell your children where you are, no matter what age group they are, when you know that they're not working, they can't fend for themselves, they are foreign, they come from Jamaica. How do you put your children out when they have no community? How do you get up and just put your children out? I want to understand it, because I personally, my daughter has done some crazy stuff. Like, my daughter and I have been in a really rough journey. We've just started in the last kind of 3 years to have a good relationship. It was good from birth to about 12, and then 13 to about 16. It was, there were moments when I felt indifferent towards my daughter. I've had moments, and I think a lot of parents who've had challenging teenagers can relate to that. And I'm going to be honest about it, because these are discussions I'll be having on Sister Hold My Hand. There were moments in my child's teenage years where I felt indifferent. I felt angry. I felt frustrated, because she put me through some hoops that were just not necessary, in my opinion. But then again, I had to go back to my own experience and recognize that when I was her age, I was too busy trying to survive. And I didn't know what to expect as a mother, because I wasn't used to this. I wasn't used to trying to figure a teenager out, because nobody had to figure me out. All they had to do was to try to put me up somewhere, feed me somewhere. I was trying to juggle, but my teenager had none of those responsibilities. She wasn't trying to find food, clothing, or shelter, because mama did it all. So when she gave me the challenges she gave me, I did not know how to handle them. And we had some serious collisions. Trust me, we did. Of which we have a new book coming out called Still Doing Time. You'll see about that. My daughter and I had some mad ass collisions. And when she hit 17, she turned a curve. So for you parents out there who are wondering, when will it change? Breathe, because it does change. And so when she hit 17, we turned a corner because I had to give. I had to learn to give. I had to relax. I had to understand the psychic of a teenager. I had to realize that she wasn't living my life. That's a different conversation for Sister Hold My Hand. But then even when she was giving me all of those challenges, how do you put your child out as a mother, as a father, as a parent, as a relative, without knowing what's going to happen to them? Because I believe when you put your children out on the street, which is what my mother had happened to her, my grandmother put her out. She got pregnant, and she got pregnant, and she got pregnant. And my mom has 10 children. She just kept getting pregnant. Because what else would she do? Sex was a recreation. Let's have sex. Let's have babies. That's what happens when you put your children out. They either end up in crime, drugs, and a narrow few of them do stay on the straight and the narrow. But children need guidance. Right? So help me understand in the comments, on the replay, in Sister Hold My Hand, if you want to come and join the conversation. How do you leave your children to the world? How do you just put them on? Because my daughter has, just me, there have been nights when I put a chair behind the door in London here. I'm like, you ain't coming inside here. But she comes and she puts her key through that door, and I get up and I open it, because where's she gonna be? So I had to share that with you guys because it was really on my heart. And this is some of the discussions that we're going to be having at Sister Hold My Hand. These deep core stuff that I'm going to be touching, because these stuff are real and they're deep and they are happening. I have children on my doorstep. I was put out of my mother's house. There you are, Audrey. You were put out of your mother's house. Okay, there you are. And Audrey, those are discussions we're going to talk about. What happened at 16 years old? At 16 years old, I was on my own. I was fending for myself. I was fending for myself, right? At 16. So, guys, these are some of the discussions where I'm actually going to the hairdresser to get my hair done. These are some of the discussions we're going to be having for Sister Hold My Hand. I welcome you to join us. There's the link. I had to put that in because I find myself going down a path. I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to be. I'm finding myself going down a path of, this is the kind of work I want to do. I want to do the philanthropical piece, and I'm finding my way. I'm really finding my way. So I will talk to you guys later. Oh my goodness, I'm damaging my charger. Oh, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Please, if you're in London, join us. And if you're in Birmingham, join us on the 7th. The tickets are selling as well. At the moment, they're on Audrey's page, and inbox me if you need them. But guys, have a good day. I'm out of here. I just had to share that. I had a real funny experience this morning, and it really shook me up. And it is one that made me, yeah. I just had an email. Hi, Ava. This is from my editor. I'm very much enjoying working on The Mango Girl. You've led such a difficult but incredible life. Yeah. That was from my editor. Yeah. Yeah. 1 second. So guys, yeah. It's that. So if I can help, if any of the things I've said has impacted anybody, affected anybody, and you want to talk about it, let me know. But I'm out of here, guys. Yeah, I'm just baffled at life itself. See you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.